stopped just talking about water and actually got out on the water. In fact, there's someone here I've got to meet. Hi Ian.
Hi Lee, how are you?
Nice to meet you. The boat we're on today is used by Moreton Bay Environmental Education Centre to teach people of all ages about marine science. And lucky for me, I'm about to get a private lesson on what's below. So Ian, we've just collected this lovely mud. What are you expecting to find out with it?
Well, I think you can see the structure of the mud maybe. If I just lift this shell here, lift it out, you can see that the mud on the surface here is sort of a browny colour.
Yeah.
Very fine. And then below it is black.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so this is what we call anoxic mud, alright? No oxygen. So all the little creatures, the tiny creatures, are driven up to this oxygenated mud on the surface where they get some oxygen. And that brings them into the zone where fish can get at them, and they're really, really important food for fish.
Yeah.
So this is vital stuff for the bay. And this is a rich soup of life. Really, really good. We'll have a look on the microscope soon and check out some of the small creatures there.
Okay. If you've ever walked on a mud flat, you are probably stepping on hundreds of thousands of tiny creatures. So let's meet some.
I think we've got one.
Oh yeah, so what is this?
Well, this is a harpacticoid copepod. And maybe you can see it's sort of like got segments on it, a bit like a crab or a shrimp. And they are relatives to crabs and shrimps. But this one's really tiny. This is also a female, a girl, so you can see the egg sacs at the back here.
Yeah. Each of these pieces of rock is actually a tiny grain of sand. So you can start to get an idea just how small these mud-dwelling critters are. These creatures may be small, but they've got a big role to play in this aquatic environment.
So these are really, really important for baby fish. When they first settle in the bay, this is what they eat. So absolutely critical for the marine food chain.
Okay, yeah, cool. Shall we see what else we can find?
Yeah, let's have a look.
I'm beginning to see what Ian meant when he said this mud was a soup of life. From mollusks like this tiny snail to bristleworms like this one. So I can see there are lots of tiny things down there, but one question I have is, does everything tiny in the ocean count as plankton?
No, not really. There are different sizes of plankton. Some are really, 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 really tiny. You can hardly see them with a microscope like that. Others are huge, big jellyfish, maybe 2 meters across. So there's a whole range of sizes.
Plankton is any living thing drifting around in the ocean, letting the water currents move them. And although jellies do have some swimming ability, they mostly go with the flow with the rest of the plankton. So what about our mud dwellers?
But these ones we saw today, so the harpacticoid I showed you earlier, that one lives in the sediment during the day, but at night it can come out into the water column. So it's in the plankton for only part of the day cycle. Others stay in the plankton for only part of their life cycle. So baby fish, for example, fish eggs, fish larvae. And then there are things that spend their entire lives in the plankton, like the copepods and the krill and those things. And those are always in the plankton, drifting around.
And final question.
Yeah.
What do you love about doing what you do?
Well, I love being out here.
Yeah.
So that's ultimately it.
Yeah.
Finding out about the sea, that's the key thing, I think. And also, in my role at the university and working with Education Centre, it's also teaching folks about it as well. It's such a great thrill.
Yeah, well, thanks for teaching me about it. I
My
really
pleasure,
appreciate
Lee.
it. Shall we get some more mud?
I think so. Let's go do it.
Let's do it.